Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. We have a fun episode coming your way. Off of our first career top 10 in Atlanta with a wild ending, but strategy really helped us out there to get a 6th place result directly behind our teammate of Justin Haley, who was able to get a top 5. But we have our first road course race of the season. New paint scheme on the car, Young LA, which is a clothing brand. D-Money whipped up this paint scheme. But on top of that, we also have a few road ringers in here, and that is going to be 2 F1 world champions. A 91 Trackhouse Project 91 car. We'll have Kimi Raikkonen behind the wheel here, joining us in Mid-Ohio. And on top of that, we also have the 2009 world champion of Jenson Button in the Rick Ware Racing number 51 Mobile 1 Ford Mustang, which Sanok made that livery banger paint scheme here. I can't wait for you guys to see that. There's our Young LA scheme. Looks fantastic. This little brown with the white stripe and then the black bottom of the car. Absolutely awesome job there by D-Money. Here we go, get ready for some practice here in Mid-Ohio, a track that we've had an interesting history at in NASCAR Heat 5. This track has always kind of been a pinnacle point whenever we were able to mod it in the last career mode of our seasons, of course. This time, though, it's very early in the season. It's, of course, only, race number 5, 6, so yeah, it's not really going to play as huge of a role, but we'll wait and see what happens, of course, in qualifying and whatnot. But overall practice, it felt pretty good. I was definitely needing to loosen the car up a bit for qualifying, so that's what I did. We would come through into Saturday early afternoon here now, and I had loosened up the car, and we got our qualifying run underway here now. Down towards turn 1 we would go here. As you can see, the goal up on the top right, 1 minute 26 seconds. I was confident we could probably beat that as usual here. It doesn't really matter what kind of a 4-star, even a 3-star car, I think it could beat the goal of that here. But yeah, getting through turn 2 all right, and then here, this is a braking zone that's very dangerous in the race because the AI really like to dive bomb it, so you got to be very careful to basically try and not get run over. So yeah, it's going to be pretty common to see some drivers just sending it there, and not myself for once now. Of course, we're coming off a little bit of drama in the last episode with Noah Gragson there. We're trying to kind of keep calm in this one and not make any enemies, because Noah Gregson's pretty mad at us right now. He's close to being a rival, but I'm hoping that we're not going to be near him today. Road courses, I consider they're like short tracks or play tracks. They're an equalizer. Short tracks, not as much of an equalizer, of course, but this is the type of track where we can take a 4-star car and be competitive, and competitive is what we are. To the line, 121.799 for the first time in our rookie season. We are on pole. What a lap that I didn't realize was going to be that good. And you can see we're on pole by less than 1/10 of a second over Austin Cindric, the world champion of Jenson Button, in 3rd place. Now, our teammate of AJ Allmendinger, 8th place behind our other teammate of Haley in 7th, Kimi Raikkonen in 12th. So both the F1 world champions starting in the top 15. Awesome stuff to see that right there. Now, as you can see, the rest of the qualifying order. 2311's Kurt Busch, Bubba Wallace 29th and 30th. Logano down in 32nd. Some big names absent from the front half of the field here now. As well, we had Trucks and Xfinity joining the Cup Series this weekend. Trucks were actually at a different road course, Watkins Glen, where we saw Timmy Hill hold off Carson Hocevar to pick up the victory. So Timmy Hill wins on the road course there in Watkins Glen, as you see the rest of the order there. Xfinity Series was joining us in Mid-Ohio, so we'll take a look here at the finishing order there, where we would actually see Cole Custer pick up the victory now over Brandon Jones. You see the rest of the order as we scroll through. So yeah, the big story today, of course, where will Kimi Raikkonen and Jenson Button fare in this grid? It's going to be interesting to kind of watch it play out. I'm ready to go racing. Let's head to the grid.
We're ready for some road course racing here in Mid-Ohio. Welcome, fans, to our first of several road races of the year. We've got 2 F1 world champions in the race today. Guys, how do you expect them to do today?
Well, Chris, I expect solid top 15 runs from both after what we saw in qualifying. Very different cars compared to what their background is, but they are adapting well so far.
I agree, Mike. Jenson has the edge so far over Kimi, but let's wait and see. What does our special guest think? We got old James Hinchcliffe here today.
Pleasure to be here, guys, and I'm really just jealous, to say the least, of those two getting to race.
You want to get in one of these cars one day soon, James?
Oh, absolutely. Let's just say I may be working on a deal right now. Hey, Gary Owen, it's fellow Canadian James Hinchcliffe in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. I got a copy.
First Canadian on pole in the Cup Series in the modern era. How's it feel, and what's the goal today?
Yeah, it feels cool. I mean, maybe not quite as cool as one of my Canadian heroes' favorite IndyCar drivers, James Hinchcliffe, interviewing me. But yeah, the goal is to honestly just try to hang on to P1 and see what we can do.
All right, bud, good luck.
Well, there you have the little pre-race chat with fellow Canadian James Hinchcliffe. AJ Allmendinger with the Chandler Smith picture. Failed technical inspection, so he's starting at the back. Can Allmendinger go from the back to the front? Cautions are on relaxed since we are, of course, on a road course. As we're ready to roll, we are green flag racing for the first time in our Cup Series career on a road course, and from pole position, Jenson Button there just behind myself with rookie stripes, of course, on that car, although certainly not a rookie here in the motorsports world, of course. Button with the several wins in Formula One with the championship in 2009, and Raikkonen no different, of course. Several wins from Kimi Raikkonen in Formula One, as well as the 2007 World Championship here. And still, to this day, the last world champion for Ferrari, which is hard to believe. It sucks. My favorite driver, of course, Sebastian Vettel, could never deliver the world championship for the team. I thought 2018 was going to be the year back in the day, and it just never played out in the way we had hoped. Now, Cindric, right to the back bumper of myself there. Of course, Cindric a road ringer. We have got some drivers up here who have just tremendous talent on road courses, and then you have me leading. But you got Cindric. Chastain's really good on these road courses. We know that Allmendinger is going to be fighting his way through the field. Watch out for Chris Buescher, Michael McDowell. Those are two names that kind of float under the radar, but are quite consistently in this current day of NASCAR in the mix when it comes to road courses. Daniel Suarez, another one as well, but he starts at the back after getting new tires, so we'll see what he can do. Leading the first lap, though. Pretty happy with that, and of course, just overly surprised by the pace in this car. Really didn't expect to be this quick here now. And we were just continuing to try and manage this lead. The 2-car would kind of in the back half of the track pull a little bit away from him, and then in the front half he would kind of reel me back in, and you could kind of see that here in the rear view mirror. He was back all over me once again, so he was putting some pressure on me for sure. Now, as I was feeling like I still need some adjustments, you can see it right there, dealing still with some understeer. Cindric alongside us into the penultimate corner, not able to capitalize, so we stay ahead now. But yeah, I was definitely seeking, as we start the final lap already of stage 1, which is only 4 laps, I was definitely seeking some adjustments to loosen the car up a bit. You can see a little bit wide on the apex in turn 1, but then at the end of the day, I get sideways on the exit. That allows the two of Cindric to fight back here. This is not going to be an easy stage win, side by side, down into turn 2. He had the edge there for a moment, but we break a little bit more aggressive, and then that discount tire, Ford Mustang for Penske Racing, and exit turn number 2, back ahead of Austin Cindric. We have a nice gap on him now to where we can go through this straightaway here, down the elevation a little bit, and of course into the braking zone, and we can kind of get into there a little bit more comfortably than what I thought we were going to be able to. You see Cindric, he does close up, but not to a point where I'm really under a lot of pressure. Jenson Button, in these opening laps, you can see my mirror. The closest or the furthest back you can see is Chastain, so that tells me that Button has definitely drifted backwards. Not as much race pace as he had in qualifying, but it still seems like there is top 10 pace in that car, which I think a top 10 for him and Raikkonen would be an exceptional performance for both of those drivers. Of course, Raikkonen's had experience in a Cup car before in Watkins Glen in 2022 for the Project 91, so this is his second Cup Series race of his career. Cindric on the back of me as we approach the penultimate corner here in stage 1. He's going to take a brief look, but not going to be enough. For the first time in our Cup Series career, fresh off of a career best result in Atlanta of P6, we get a stage win and 10 points plus a playoff point. If we make the playoffs, and we will absolutely make the playoffs racing like this. Tyler Reddick has been climbing through the field. He got past Chastain at the end of the stage, so definitely got to keep an eye on that Monster Energy number 45. Let's see. So Jenson Button ended up P7. Our teammate of Haley in P8. Elliott with the last stage point. Raikkonen down in 15th, so a bit of work to do there for Kimi as you see the rest of the order. Ryan Preece looks like he had an issue, and actually I would go into the replay after and I would verify there was an issue with Preece. We'll take a look at it. You see as well making some adjustments, loosening the car up quite a bit and adding a little bit of grill tape. But here's a look. So Preece, not quite sure exactly what happened. Looks like a tire failure, and he's gonna like swipe the 36 of Zane Smith, and they both go off track, but no caution there, so they would continue on. Maybe actually an engine issue there for the 41, it looks like, more or less. So nonetheless, so we maintain the lead out of the pit, so we have control of the restart and get ready to roll with Austin Cindric still joining us on the front row. We're back underway. Behind us, it's Chastain and Tyler Reddick. Watch out for those two drivers, of course. Remember, the battle they had that was very brief in Indianapolis road course last season. What a fight that was. A little bit sideways right there through turn 1, setting me a little bit wide towards the curb, and that brings Ross the Boss, the Watermelon Toss, and Chastain up the left side here as we head down towards turn 2, though. Once again, just like Cindric earlier, we are able to outbrake him down into the corner, sacrificing a little bit of mid-corner speed, and we still, though, are able to exit the corner quite a ways ahead. So turn 2 is a corner that really you can utilize to your advantage to just pull away. Only 4 laps again in stage 2, just like stage 1. We have a bit lengthier of a stage 3, which will potentially require a green flag pit stop, of course, depending on cautions and whatnot here as we continue on. So when we tried this career mode with the 2022 mod, we usually still ended up getting cautions that prevented green flag pit stops even on the road courses. Reddick now into 3rd place, clear of Chastain after he kind of lost a little bit of ground on the restart, so he's back to where he started, and now he's putting some pressure on the back of that discount tire Ford Mustang of Austin Cindric, which I'm okay with. Put some pressure on him, maybe start fighting a little bit, and I can just cruise to a stage 2 victory as well. Really, really feeling confident with the pace in this car, to say the least. I think we've got a good chance now after seeing the way stage 1 went. If we can stay on top of strategy, minimize mistakes, we're going to have a shot to win this race here, and what will be our only 6th race of our Cup Series career now as we come through, already approaching the halfway point of the stages. Stage 1 and 2, like I said, so short here now as we go through the corner, and there's a big mistake there. We're going to go around all on our lonesome. No caution, of course. We try to get it back collected immediately, but I absolutely choked the daylights out of the lead there, and we get it back going, but the damage is done. We're outside of the top, 15 or 14th? No, we are P16 with Austin Dillon, but you're going to get a look at the replay here momentarily. It's embarrassing, to say the least. I cannot believe I just did that. We get back past the 3. I know I have a fast car, so I wasn't going to let that get me down immediately. It's just like, okay, let's get back into our rhythm. Let's get back going, but that's the choke of the season of anybody so far. Oh my goodness, there's the replay, and I turned into the corner, and me going over top of the curbs is what spun me. And that's not a usual line that I take in that corner, and that's exactly why that happened. I went into the corner a little bit slower than I usually do, and I just turned in sharper, and that put me over the curbs, and around I went. Here we are now, though, focusing on, well, what's that going forward? I mean, we can't really focus on what just happened. We got to go forward, and we're side by side with Kimi Raikkonen, getting to see that beautiful number 91 ONX. Is it Onyx? Is that how you say it? I don't really know, to be honest with you, but still a beautiful livery nonetheless there. But we clear Raikkonen, who just doesn't quite have the speed, maybe not quite the confidence in that Cup car here today. We're definitely seeing Jenson Button have that upper hand over him all weekend so far. Only 2 laps to go at this point in the stage, and Austin Cindric is now in control, but we did see Tyler Reddick putting some pressure on him, so don't be surprised if Reddick maybe comes through to win the stage as we close in on one of his Monster Energy teammates here of Ty Gibbs towards the end of stage 2. Gibbs, really rough start to the season, having a decent run here today in P13 now as we close up right on the back of him here. Don't want to really move him around here. I just want to take my time and be patient really now as Cindric leads to the white flag in the stage up ahead. There's trouble. That's the 45 of Tyler Reddick, who's gone wide, and he's coming back on track. We get past both him and Gibbs there, but why in the world did he come back on track when he was already headed at the pit lane? He's going to have to ride around all the way back. He had a tire down, it looked like, so he's got to ride around the whole way of the circuit before the caution is going to fly. An absolute waste there to stay out. And now here we are, P12 with about half a lap to go in stage 2. Cindric is cruising to a stage win. Jenson Button right there in front of us. He's putting pressure on the back of Eric Jones for the final stage point. Of course, if Button gets that stage point, it's not going to matter for his season. He's only here doing a few races. He will be in that car again for Road America, which would be the slot for Chicago Street Course. So you can see on the track map that Cindric wins stage number 2, looking to be another new winner this season. Only one repeat, that's Chastain in the last episode in Atlanta. A little bit of contact between Harvick and Button, and we don't get him at the line because 10th place crossed it before I was able to get quite just a nose ahead of Jenson Button in the 51. So Haley there having a great run, by the way, in P6. Colleague has brought speed this weekend. With AJ Allmendinger's insight and expertise from road course racing, you expect Colleague racing to be good on the road courses. We are certainly proving that here. We're going to come back into the pits. I'm actually going to tighten it up just a tad bit for this restart. Allmendinger, by the way, coming from the back up to now 19th place. Suarez only up to 26th after starting in the back. So we're going to get ready to go green for stage 3 after the drivers to watch.
All right, it's time for ones to watch. I'm going with that 2 car of Austin Cindric today.
Mike. I've got that 17 car. Chris Buescher is going to get the job done.
I've been watching AJ all day, boys, and I like what I see out of him here. I've got the 16 car.
Well, there's your picks. As we gain 2 spots in the pit lane, Jones lost 3. So we're back in towards this top 10 battle. We're back racing here. It's only going to be about 9 laps of racing in stage number 3 at a road course, so that's quite a bit of time. Now, like I said, if it stays green flag pit stop will be necessary. Let's wait and see, though, if that happens now. As you can see, second and third right now is Buescher and Michael McDowell. Nobody picked that 34 of McDowell. He hasn't really had the speed today, so we'll wait and see what happens. Chastain's kind of been, that third, fourth, fifth area all race long. Martin Truex Jr. is now kind of up in the mix. What an interesting season for Martin Truex Jr. He's had speed, but he's had some bad luck. That's kind of taken him out of opportunities this season, and you look at the one where he was able to get to the end of the race leading in Fontana, and then in overtime lost to William Byron. It's been an interesting start, to say the least, for the 19, and of course we still don't know what the future holds for Martin Truex Jr. in this career mode. Now, in the last one that we tried with the 2022 DLC, we knew he was retiring. This time we still don't know. It's all based off his results, and right now, I mean, the pace looks good. The results maybe not quite where he wants them, but a lot of things out of his control on that front. But you can see Cindric still out in control here. I got Jenson Button hot on my rear bumper, but here we are trying to take a peek up the inside of the Ally Financial Chevrolet there by the 48 of Alex Bowman, and sure enough, in a P9 we go. So now we'll try to get in behind Kevin Harvick there for Stuart Haas Racing, and of course his final time here in Mid-Ohio, his first and final actually now, as we're going to head down towards the braking zone. That 48, and actually watch the 51 of Button just sent one up the inside. There's the confidence we were wondering where it was, and he's found it here now. Of course, Button having a great run here in P9. He's outpaced Raikkonen all weekend, and it looks like it's going to continue right through to the end of this race. What a drive from the British driver of Jenson Button here now, as you continue to see Cindric leading the way on that track map. I didn't have the pace I thought I was going to have in stage 3. I thought I would be able to slice and dice through the field, considering we were leading all of stage 1 and half of stage 2 before the self-spin, but the pace just wasn't quite there. I don't know, maybe if I needed to be a bit more aggressive, but I didn't have quite enough confidence in this car to be as aggressive as I wanted to be. But we go around the outside of JB in towards turn 2, and now we got Kevin Harvick up our inside as we're going to try and exit alongside him on the exit of 2. Here we go down the straightaway, and we will clear Harvick. So now we're starting to get a bit of a roll going here. Up into P8 behind 7th place of Truex, now trying to run him down in my teammate of Justin Haley just in front of him, and sure enough we were closing in. AJ Allmendinger, he was continuing to close in. He was almost inside the top 10 at this point here. Now Chris Buescher now to the lead of the race here, and then number 17 for RFK, Roush Fenway Kozlowski, looking for that first win since they expanded, of course, in 2022. Can today be the day for that number 17? Problems for Truex again. This is not the first time this season. It looks like it's going to be a tire failure. What's going to happen here? There it is. He's going to go for a whole lawn mowing. Oh my goodness. He just had a huge hit into the barrier, and no caution. Martin Truex Jr. just died, and there's no caution there. Thank goodness it was tire barrels, or tire barriers, so he's not going to be injured. But goodness gracious, that was a heck of a hit. No caution comes out, so we continue on. We were in perfect position to see that all happen. Thankfully, we weren't a little bit further ahead, and we didn't get destroyed by him, because that would have been really unfortunate. Lap 19, coming to 3 to go, putting some pressure on the back of the 31. We had drivers behind us pitting, including Alex Bowman, Jenson Button, those guys. AJ Allmendinger was only a couple of seconds behind us. He was absolutely flying, and here I am putting some pressure on the 31 of my teammate of Haley, a little bit wide on the exit of turn 1. That opens the door to get him back clear as we head up the hill a little bit here towards turn number 2. And I was playing it quite cautious here with him. I didn't want to be too aggressive. It's, well, a teammate after all, so it'd be a bit stupid to do something stupid and get him in trouble, or both of us in trouble. So here we are, still behind him towards the end of the lap. Everybody's going to be pitting that hasn't pitted right here. So green flag pit stop sure enough do happen, and all of Colleague is going to pit together because Allmendinger ran us down. He might be the fastest car on track right now, but he's going to need a caution to get himself in the mix to win this race. Now pay attention up ahead. We're taking 1 can, 2 tires. Michael McDowell is exiting his pit box already, and he's past the 17 of Buescher, who was leading the race. Oh my goodness, Michael McDowell is going to have a multi-second lead and might become a NASCAR Cup Series winner here in 2023, which would be his 2nd career win. Buescher is just now rolling past me. McDowell's already headed down towards turn number 2. My only theory is that McDowell took no tires and everybody else around him took 4. That's my prediction. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I think happened. We exit the pits and we come out way behind our teammate of Haley, but we come out way ahead of our teammate of Allmendinger, so it seems like other drivers are doing different things. I got Christopher Bell just behind myself, Button's back there, Harvick's back there as well, Bubba Wallace is just in front of me. He has not pitted yet. He'll be pitting at the end of this lap, so we're going to run him down really quick because he's just downright slow on road courses, and we do have 2 fresh tires on our car, so that will allow me to do exactly this. Look at how quickly we ran down that McDonald's Toyota Camry now as we close in on the back of Bubba. I'm going to give him a little bit of shove here just because I'm trying to get going a little bit here. I got his alliance teammate of Christopher Bell just behind myself, but white flag is in the air. The flagman waves it, and Michael McDowell takes the white, and he is in position to be a surprise winner. I mean, it's not necessarily a surprise in Mid-Ohio. Alex Bowman's back in the pit lane, by the way. Bowman had already pitted about a lap before us, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but the 48 is going to come in for a second pit stop. Not quite sure. Maybe they didn't get enough fuel in the car. Maybe an issue. That puts us into the top 5 for the first time, potentially, in our Cup career. Haley in 4th. A great day for colleague Allmendinger, although he got put behind on the pit stop. He's in the top 10. Jenson Button currently scored in 9th place. Raikkonen a little bit further back, but in the top 15. Michael McDowell wins in Mid-Ohio in an all-green flag stage 3 for, I think, the first time this season. Absolutely flawless drive from McDowell, and it looks like strategy was where he was able to benefit the most and capitalize on the opportunity. And here we are. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be to get our first Cup win, as a big slide there through the final turn, but our first top 5 nonetheless here in the Cup Series as a Cup Series rookie. We'll take that. Look at that. Colleague 4th, 5th, and 9th. Button got P7, actually, and Raikkonen ended up 12th. A great day for the F1 World Champions there, showing up quite well. Awesome stuff to see. You see the rest of the order. Kyle Busch looks like he got the short end of the stick too. 34th. Truex ended up only 5 laps down in 38th place. Not a bad day for him, obviously. A terrible day for Martin Truex Jr. But that's going to wrap it up. What a race again. We've had some awesome races so far to kick off this 2023 mod, and it carries over again here into Mid-Ohio. You can see the points for trucks. You see the points now for Xfinity. Custer at the top of the board with 2 wins, and the Cup Series, of course, that great result allows me to enter the playoff mix early on in the season. We are now in the playoffs going into Richmond. McDowell is too. He's locked in. That's going to be our 5th different winner of the season. 2 Fords, 1 Toyota, and 2 Chevrolets. Buescher only 6 points out, Suarez 11, but we're the last one in after a great day in Mid-Ohio. That's going to wrap it up for me. I'll see you guys in the next one for some short track racing at Richmond. That's going to be a fun one. I'll see you guys then. Have a great day, everybody.